June says it best. It is the most wonderful time of the year, even if the weather outside right now doesn't exactly indicate that for us, although it is kind of cold in this room. By show of hands, how many of you have already decorated your house or plan on decorating your house for the holidays? Just about everyone, good. Of you, do you use lights when you decorate? Hands, okay. Incandescent lights, do you use those? Everyone, do you use incandescent lights? Do you not know what incandescent lights are? Well, we can talk about that right here. Every day, the day after Thanksgiving, my father and I go outside of my parents' house and we decorate their house. We go along the azaleas that are along the front, and we put a lot of Christmas lights to those. We wrap the dogwood tree that's outside of the garage, and then inside we wrap 2 separate trees with numerous strands of lights. And for the longest time, we used incandescent lights because we didn't know any better and because they weren't available. But today I'm going to talk to you about the negative effects of using incandescent lights on your energy consumption, the time that you take, as well as your safety, and to talk to you about a possible solution that you can use. Incandescent lights use a lot of energy to function, just by the nature of how they run. Are you guys familiar with the term of what a watt is in terms of energy? It's the amount of energy that something pulls through the wall in order for it to function. And a string of incandescent lights uses 40 watts of energy, which doesn't seem like a lot. But if you consider the average consumer is going to leave their lights on for about 5 hours a day, from about sundown around 5 o'clock until they go to bed around 10 o'clock or 11 or 12, depending on if you're a night owl or not. And then you consider the average holiday season is going to be about 45 days. It's the day after Thanksgiving until maybe a week after the New Year comes around. And if you calculate that all out, about a strand of Christmas lights and incandescent lights is going to run you about 99 cents per season. A Christmas tree will probably take up about 10 strands, so each Christmas tree that you have is going to cost you $9.90 just in electricity to run incandescent lights. On top of that, you also have the time that it takes and the frustration that you have around these Christmas lights. When you take them out of storage, you have to untangle them, you have to test each strand. And why do you have to do that? It's because incandescent lights have a very short lifespan. Incandescent lights have an average lifespan of only 3,000 hours of running time. So if you calculate that out with about average use, which we calculated just a few minutes ago, that equates to about 13 years worth of use, which sounds like a lot. But in actuality, when it's out in the elements, and it's cold, and then it heats up, and then it gets cold again, that really wears and tears on the light bulbs, and those filaments can break. And how does an incandescent light bulb work? Does this look familiar to a lot of you with the Christmas lights that you use? What happens is electricity comes through these little prongs down here at the bottom, and it passes through, oops, I'm touching the smart board. It passes through the little filament right here. The filament causes resistance to the current that's going through it, and it starts to glow, and that's what we see at the light. But one of the side effects of that is it also produces a lot of heat. Dr. Clara Piccirillo did a study, and she found out that incandescent lights can run up to temperatures of 392 degrees Fahrenheit. To give you a reference point, water boils at 212 degrees. So we are 180 degrees above that point. And you're wrapping that around a dry Christmas tree in your house? That is a surefire way to have your house catch fire. And speaking of that, there was a study actually just released last month by the National Fire Prevention Association that did a study from 2009 to 2013 and found an average of 210 home structure fires through the course of one holiday season. Through that, there were 7 civilian deaths averaged, 19 civilian injuries, and $17.5 million in direct property damage. That is a boatload of money. And the leading cause of that is light usage of electrical devices in your house or surrounding the Christmas holidays. But there is a solution: LED lights. LED lights are out there now, and I'm going to tell you why this is such a great solution for you. Energy consumption. LED lights run at a far lower wattage. Traditional incandescent lights run at 40 watts. LED lights run at 4.8 watts, which is 12% of the energy that it takes to run a traditional incandescent light. If you look down here, after we calculate everything out using the same exact usage, it only costs you $1.19 for the season to run those same 10 strands, saving you $8.71 alone, just in energy. That's enough for how many cups of Starbucks coffee? On top of that, LED lights are also rated at 50,000 hours of use. I don't know about you, but I don't plan on living the 222 years that it would take to run through all of those lights. Also, the bulbs that LEDs use aren't the same heat-resistant glass that incandescent light bulbs use. They're actually injection molded plastic. They're much more durable than glass, and they're not prone to breaking when you put all of your lights into storage. So they're much more durable as well. So how does an LED work? An LED, there are two main layers of an LED. There's the positive layer and the negative layer right here. And there's particles in there that have those positive and negative charges. When you run a current through the system, that blue area in the middle, the active region, the particles from either side interact with each other, and when they hit, it releases what's called a photon. And the photon is the light that you see. Since it's such a low energy reaction, there's virtually no heat released, meaning that 392 degrees that you experienced with the incandescent lights is virtually non-existent. A lot of you are giving me that look like you don't believe me. We have a volunteer. Bruce, you want to come up here?
Yeah.
Come on, Bruce. Give Bruce a hand. So I plugged in these lights just before we started the presentation today. They've been running for about 10 minutes. This strand over here that's a much brighter white is the LEDs, and the more yellow light are the incandescent bulbs. Bruce, will you take a moment and just hold on to these lights right here and tell me what you feel? Room temperature, are they cold?
Nothing.
You feel nothing, right? Yeah, they run at very low temperatures. But here, take a moment and touch those. What do you notice?
A little bit warm.
Yeah, they're a little warm, and these have just been running for about 10 minutes. Imagine running those same lights. You can have a seat, Bruce, thank you. Imagine running those lights for 5 hours on a dry Christmas tree with those temperatures skyrocketing into the 100-degree Fahrenheit. It's a surefire way to burn your house. So what can you do? Every year, big home improvement chains offer these things called trade-in days. You can bring your old incandescent light bulbs and light strands into Home Depot, into Lowe's, any of these main home improvement chains, and they'll take them off your hands and they'll recycle them. In turn, they're going to give you a credit in the store to buy a strand of LEDs up to $5. Now, remember earlier I talked about how you're saving $8? Now you're getting $5 to buy a new strand. I mean, the money is starting to pile up in your pocket. You're looking at that new Ferrari thinking, I'm going to buy a new car. On top of that, there's also online discounts. Amazon right now is running a 12 deals of Christmas. And I just found this online last night. A string of LED bulbs, 200 made for outdoors, highly rated. Normally costs $80. You can get it now for $22. A savings of 74%. Which is, 73%, which is a phenomenal savings, and is the amount of money that you're going to be saving in your electricity bills, as well as the general peace of mind with your safety of buying the LEDs. It's a simple choice. So in summary, we talked today about all of the dangers of an LED, about the energy consumption, or the dangers of an incandescent, and the amount of energy that you're going to save by switching to an LED by 88%. You're going to extend the life of your Christmas lights because LEDs run for 50,000 hours as opposed to the 3,000 hours of incandescent bulbs, as well as improve the safety of your home, as Bruce made sure to tell us. These incandescent bulbs are running hot, as opposed to a nice, cool example with the LEDs. So do what my father and I did a few years ago and switch out those incandescents and get your LED bulbs. Do your part, switch your Christmas lights, and get the lead out. Thank you.